Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, it's Jesse with the Common Nerd, bringing you pop culture and all things nerdy through a common sense lens. Now, I probably, like the majority of the audience out there, seem to. I really enjoyed the first season of Netflix's One Piece adaptation out there, especially after all the disappointing live-action adaptations of anime we'd had over the years. From, of course, Netflix, the most glaring version of that has been Cowboy Bebop, and of course, how they reacted to the fans and everything else was just an absolute disastrous dumpster fire, and it was so refreshing to see the direct opposite from the Netflix One Piece adaptation. I was one of the first ones out there talking about this early on, saying all of these actors, all of these people, all these writers, everybody involved with this, they're saying all of the right things. They're talking about how much they appreciate Oda, how much they appreciate his work, how they all grew up with this series. They are fans of this from the beginning. Even the guys doing the adaptation of the new anime version that they're going to do for Netflix now. One of the guys spent like a month literally making sure he learned how to draw exactly as Oda did and everything else. So it's one of them situations where it was early on. I really did think this was going to be a very well done thing, because I've learned time and time again that we actually have to listen to these people when it comes to all of the kind of things that they say out there, because they will tell you what they're wanting to do more often than not. They can't help themselves but be honest. Whether they're trying to devastate and destroy an IP and reform it in their own image and reimagine things out there, they will tell you more often than not because they're proud of what they do. And in this case with One Piece, they were very proud to honor Oda as much as they possibly could. And boys and girls, that has got them absolutely resounding success. It is easily arguable that One Piece has been the most successful show on Netflix, and obviously Netflix completely and totally agrees. We have the second season coming here very shortly, and boys and girls, Netflix has so much confidence in this show and so much confidence in the people behind it. Well, it didn't take long, because before season 2 even drops, boys and girls, Netflix has already renewed season 3. And boys and girls, we've got all of the juicy details as to when filming is supposed to start beginning, and it won't be very much longer after season 2 before we get to hang out with the Straw Hat crew once again and delve even further into the grand line. And I, for one, cannot wait, boys and girls. So we're going to take this article from thatparkplace.com, get into all of the juicy details and see exactly what we've got going on here and all of the details from this official announcement. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing. We just crossed 2,100. We're sailing our way towards 22, sailing our way towards 100,000. I think we're sitting at like 2,183, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. How have you enjoyed One Piece so far? Were there certain things that they changed that you weren't a big fan of? Was there overall the adaptation as faithful as you had hoped for? Did it go beyond your expectations? Are you excited for season 2? Does it make you happy to know that season 3 is already in the works and will begin production very soon? Let us know what you think about all of that in the comment section down below. And if you'd like to support this channel, please check the links in the description as well. All right, from thatparkplace.com and our dear sweet Raven Redgrave. Go check out Gothic Therapy if you haven't already, boys and girls. Netflix has renewed One Piece for season 3 ahead of season 2's debut. The news comes during this year's One Piece Day celebration in Tokyo, where the streaming giant also unveiled the first images from season 2. Ooh, boys and girls. And although we can't watch the full thing, we might bounce around a little bit and see if we can get some of the clips and stuff like that. Netflix is another one of those companies out there that copyright claims stuff something ridiculous sometimes. Season 2 is slated for release in 2026, and we'll see Luffy and his crew finally set sail in the Grand Line, a stretch of sea notorious for both its dangers and its wonders. In the source material, this marks a turning point. The adventure gets larger in scale, the villains more formidable, and the mysteries surrounding the world begin to deepen. And yeah, I absolutely love it. Now, given I'm a guy that's only at like episode 850, so I know I still got a long way to go, and it's one of them situations where you just kind of take it, and I personally have to kind of take it in chunks. But I absolutely love this series. Oda is just an amazing storyteller, an amazing world builder. The characters in this show are just outrageous, over the top, menacing, and just a lot of good times and a lot of fun, boys and girls. So I am glad they're doing such a good adaptation. It's one of those things, too. One of the interviews with Oda that I'm reminded of, too, was he was one of those things where he was like, he kind of wanted to do something like this for a while, but he just didn't feel the technology was up to be able to do it properly, represent it in live action without making it look ridiculous and stupid like we'd seen in some of the stuff in the past. And they have done a really good job. Some of the outrageous and outlandish things that you see in the anime out there, you'd be like, wow, they're never going to be able to pull that off in live action. And then they do it. And you're like, it doesn't look stupid. It doesn't look ridiculous. It looks like it should in a live action and still is perfectly representative of what you see in the anime. They've boggled my mind how good of a job they did with some of that stuff. Netflix's official description promises fiercer adversaries and the most perilous quests yet, with bizarre islands, unpredictable seas, and powerful enemies waiting at every stop. For longtime fans, the Grand Light represents the true heart of One Piece, and adapting these arcs faithfully will be the key to winning over skeptics of live-action anime projects. And that's been the biggest thing. We have seen so many disastrous dumpster fires over the years, over and over and over again, of them trying to do this and failing miserably. It's the same thing to the superhero genre. We've seen them try that and fail miserably with a lot of different characters over the years as well. This one just absolutely smashes it. And this is once again why I have said time and time and over again, you have to honor the father and the mother. You have to not violate that commandment when you're adapting someone else's work out there, because this is a creation of Oda. And if you're not going to respect Oda and you're not going to respect the source material, you're violating one of God's commandments. You're not honoring the father of this creation, and therefore you're not going to do a good job of it. And these guys have done nothing but speak and praise Oda from the rooftops, boys and girls. They cannot say enough good things about his work, and you see that love represented in the show. The main cast is back. Inoki Godi as Monkey D. Luffy, Makanu as swordsman Roanoa Zoro, Emily Rudd as navigator Nami, Jacob Ramiro as sharpshooter Usopp, and Taz Skylar as cook Sanji. And I know the eyebrows. I know it would have looked ridiculous in live action. Let's just be honest, boys and girls. Supporting actors Vincent Reagan, Ilya Paulina, Morgan Davies, and others are also returning. Season 2 is expanding the roster in a big way. David Dashman joins as the tricky villain, Mr. 3, which honestly, you couldn't have asked for a better actor to do that. Mr. 3 is weird and quirky, and that actor does an incredible job with roles just like that. And he looks very similar to the character as well. So I'm excited to see what he pulls off. Katie Seagal is a legendary actress. I mean, Married with Children, Sons of Anarchy, boys and girls. You couldn't ask for a better Dr. Kura. I mean, seriously, just... yeah, and the woman looks the part, and she definitely, like, if you watched her in Sons of Anarchy, she can pull off somebody who likes to drink a lot. Okay, let's just be honest on that one as well. Sindel Ramai portrays the royal figure of Nefari Cobra, and Joe Magliano, sorry, Joe, I actually really like him as a character, steps into the role of Mr. Zero, better known to manga readers as the central antagonist as one of the most beloved arcs. Crocodile. These casting choices suggest that the new season will drive fan-favorite storylines that push the Straw Hats into uncharted waters. And honestly, Joe Magliano is a great casting for that as well. He's got the look for it. He's big, he's bulky, he's broad-shouldered. It's going to work out great. And the ladies love him too. Are you going to like him with all the scales? We'll find out. You probably still will. It'll probably be like Sunker and the Lizards. Don't ask. But join us on Thursday nights and Sunday nights when we're live for that to find out more about that. Perhaps the most unpredictable part of the series so far has been behind the scenes. Season 1 was overseen by Matt Owens and Steve Medea. Heading into Season 2, Medea stepped down, leaving Joe Trezek to co-lead. Owens then announced his departure following the completion of Season 2, which paved the way for Ian Stokes, previously co-executive producer on Season 1, to join Trezek as co-showrunner for Season 3. Obviously, as a fan of consistency, this always makes a lot of fans a little nervous about things. But so far, I mean, we'll find out when Season 2 actually premieres, right? And obviously, it's one of them situations where they talk about consistency and things like that. We'll find out when Season 2 drops if it's just as good, if not better, than Season 1, to find out whether or not these changes are good or whether or not they're going to end up causing problems going forward. But at least it sounds like, based on the fact that they've already announced Season 3 is coming, then it does seem like, at least from what Netflix has seen, they are at least confident what's going on. It's rare for a major Netflix project to see this much turnover across its first 3 seasons. While some fans worry about stability, others point out the show has remained steady in tone and scope despite the changes. Well, we really don't know that yet. We haven't seen Season 2. So it might just be some fanboys out there trying to go, no, everything's going to be fine, because it's not like we haven't seen that before. Production for Season 3 is set to begin later this year in Cape Town, South Africa, where the first 2 seasons were also filmed, which I love that too. Consistency across that kind of scene means they're going to be working with the same crews, the same local people, all that kind of stuff. So you'll get the same quality of craftsmanship. I mean, the sets we've already seen from season 2 look absolutely incredible. But yeah, I like that. And by the end of the year, so boys and girls, they're going to be filming by the end of the year. So you talk probably what, 3-4 months of shooting, maybe a little bit longer. You got post-production that's generally about 6 to 8 months, maybe a year at the most. So we're talking probably 2027 at the absolute latest. Yes, I would also like a season a year, just like what we used to get back in the day that made all these shows so successful. But at least it's not the 2 and 3 years that we've gotten sometimes, or longer, between things like Stranger Things out there, boys and girls. So at least that's something. At least like they're trying to keep up the pace on this. And considering how much of One Piece there is to go through, obviously not even done yet, these actors are not going to get any younger, right? And there's only so much makeup and CGI will do. So you have to be on this. If you plan on even coming close to even be able to get caught up with where the anime and the manga are right now, you're going to have to be banging these out every other year and hopefully get to a point where you've gotten so good at this, you can bang out a season a year. Because if you can get that, then not only will that make the fans incredibly happy and keep the momentum going up for your show, because everybody's going to constantly be going, oh yeah, next year, and also maybe 86 the binge model and give us back the weekly model, you would be able to keep the momentum going for this show a whole lot better. But this is still better than a lot of productions. It's not perfect. It's not where the fans want it, but it's progress. And progress I will take after all of the years of stagnation, boys and girls. Animated live-action projects have a rocky history, from high-profile flops like Cowboy Bebop to smaller adaptations that never gained traction. One Piece, I mean, come on. Dragon Ball, anybody? One Piece, however, managed to buck that trend, earning a strong reception for its faithful yet successful first season. Netflix's decision to renew Season 3 before Season 2 even airs underscores the platform's commitment. It suggests confidence not only in the creative direction, but also in the franchise's ability to draw international audiences. I mean, it's literally the #1 most long-running selling manga in history, boys and girls. Like, One Piece has outsold all of Batman comics combined in its entire history, going all the way back to the Detective Comics era. Boys and girls, that's how much of a global appeal and how popular One Piece is. Yeah, I think as long as they don't screw this up, they're going to have a very successful franchise on their hands for a decade, if not longer, boys and girls. But let's go ahead and check out a little bit of this first look at Season 2 here. Now, we're not going to play too much of the music or any of that kind of stuff here. Let Common Nerd put in his headphones in, because he completely and totally forgot, because he's a dummy like that sometimes. But here we go. We'll pause it a little. We'll give you a little bit of tease. We can get away with about 10 seconds. But I mean, just from the get-go, this already looks incredible. I mean, just look at the Mary. All of this looks great. You've got the orange trees right there on the back, right where they're supposed to be. That's one of the things that I've loved about this, is just the absolute attention to detail that they have with all of this kind of stuff. Okay, I've only seen everything once. You guys are going to have to remind me of exactly what island they're going to in the comments down here in the section below. But like, this looks awesome. This looks epic. Looks very accurate. Looks very accurate to the world, to the anime world that we're living in. Oh, that's right. This is what Dressrosa, right? Dressrosa. This is we're going into the Desert Kingdom, right? Because that's where we get Crocodile and everybody else going on. And I mean, look at the attention to detail. It's such a great Luffy. I mean, just embodies the character so well. Slightly less annoying than Luffy gets sometimes in the anime. But does a really good job with this. I mean, the sets just look incredible. Obviously, we've got Usopp going here. We've got our oh, look, there he is. Look, let's just let this play here for a second. We got the Giants. That's all right. We're getting the Giants confirmed. Oh, they're going to be so much fun. That is such a fun character arc. And there we go. There she is. There she is. The actress looks the part. I was kind of not so sure on her When they first announced her, there are certain aspects of that character that young lady doesn't necessarily embody. But if she can pull the character off well, none of us are going to complain. None of us are going to complain. Let's be honest. She looks the part. I mean, this just, and of course, Zoro always. But yeah, if she can pull it off, like everybody else has been able to pull it off, nobody's going to complain. And then, of course, there we go. We've got Smoker right there. Introduction to Smoker. That looks great. Maybe not quite as beefy as I'd like him. Maybe a little bit bigger. But you know what? If he can pull off the voice, I'm willing to go with it. I'm willing to go. Of course, Luffy running through everything. Got all of that going on. And yes, I know a little bit controversial casting here, but she is from a desert region, and considering this girl's actual ethnicity, it kind of makes sense, boys and girls. But yeah. And this is the only one that people were having an issue with, but I think she'll be fine. I think she'll end up being fine. If she pulls off the character well, that's all that's going to actually matter. Excellent action scene. Nami doing all kinds of awesomeness. Usopp showing off his wonderful art, his wonderful sharp shooting skills. I like that they've added, I like that he's got his goggles now too. Luffy beating people up. Nami looking wonderful. Nami looking absolute. I love that character. So yeah, obviously passing through into the Grand Line, that's going to be an epic sequence. Like, that's just going to be absolutely insane. Like, that's going to be so much fun. It looks like they had the whale there too. So yeah, this looks cool. This looks great. The live action series produced in partnership with yada, 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 a bunch of people we don't care. And of course, Oda himself remains an executive producer. And that's really the important part. Now, we did hear doesn't have quite as much creative control over the second season as he did the first season. So we'll have to see how all of that goes. Despite creative shakeups, the project has shown resilience, steadily moving forward while keeping fan excitement alive. With new characters, bigger stakes, and an early renewal already secured, One Piece is shaping up to be one of Netflix's rare, long-term live-action bets. For now, the Straw Hats are charting a course deeper into uncharted waters, and they aren't leaving port anytime soon. So there you go, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. And it's true. I'm excited. I'm excited for season 2. I'll have to go watch that full teaser with my chat later, and we'll just have to cut it out later because of copyright stuff. But this looks great. The new stuff looks awesome. The new season looks good. All of the sets look great. The characters look wonderful. Everybody's very accurate to what we've seen in the source material. And at the end of the day, that's the important part. As long as they can act the part, as long as they can make it believable on screen, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I think we are in for another grand ride with the Straw Hat crew as they enter the Grand Line. And I, for one, cannot wait. I think that scene is going to be absolutely epic. It's going to be absolutely insane. And it's one of those situations where it's like Netflix, to a certain degree, when you have something that's on such an epic scale as this, like maybe, just maybe, I don't know, the episode 1 or maybe whichever episode they actually decide to go through the Grand Line itself and go up the waterfall and down the waterfall and everything else. It's one of them situations where you want to actually see something like that on a big screen. And for those of you guys out there, they're going to have giant, massive theater systems at your house with great quality. Enjoy this, because I'd imagine that scene is going to be absolutely epic, boys and girls. It looks like season 2. We are in for a treat with that, and season 3 is already going to be coming very, very soon, boys and girls, with production starting at the end of this year. Before the end of this year, it won't be long before season 3 ends up being here with us to enjoy. Hopefully season 2 is just as good, because Netflix, if you can continue to pull this off and make the fans happy, you have a very successful franchise going forward. And as of right now, boys and girls, I can't wait to jump back on the Mary. For as long as she lasts, anyway. A big shout out to all of our subscribers and members out there. Thanks for watching, and make sure you guys like and subscribe if you have not already.